They say words can't hurt you, but they do, sometimes more than anything else. A forgotten birthday, a friend who suddenly stopped talking to you, a parent who said you're too sensitive. Those moments don't leave scars on your body, but they stay quiet, heavy, and years later I still feel them in the silence before sleep. The ache in my chest when someone gets too close, the way I pull back even when I want to lean in. I didn't know I was wounded. Because emotional wounds don't bleed, but they hurt. And today I want to walk with you through 5 signs that your emotional wounds haven't healed yet, and more importantly, how to finally start healing. You're not weak. You're just human. Let's begin. I used to think surviving meant I was strong. I got through the day. I checked off the to-do list. I didn't cry. I didn't break down. That must mean I was doing okay, right? But I was okay. I was surviving, not living. And there's a difference. Living is when I feel something deeply. Joy, excitement, even sadness, real sadness that passes through and out, but surviving. It's when everything feels muted, when I'm just going through the motions like a machine. When I laugh but it doesn't reach my eyes, when I wake up and already feel tired. There was a point when I stopped dreaming, stopped imagining anything beyond just getting by. And that's when I realized something inside me had shut down. I couldn't feel much anymore. Not happiness, not pain, not even love, just this flat, numb space. And when I did feel something, like when someone got too close, it was overwhelming. My chest tightened, my thoughts scrambled. I'd pull away even if I wanted to stay, because connection didn't feel safe. It felt risky, like closeness would break me again. And then came the nights. Nights where my body was tired, but my mind refused to rest. Memories I didn't ask for would replay on loop. Conversations I wish I handled differently. People I missed but didn't know how to reach. I couldn't sleep. Not because of noise, but because of everything I hadn't said, everything I hadn't felt. That's when it hit me. Emotional wounds don't scream, they whisper, in the silence of sleepless nights, in the fear of letting someone in the numbness that replaces joy. And those whispers were telling me something I had tried to ignore, that I was hurt, and I hadn't healed, not yet. I didn't want to admit it, but the signs were there. Little things, silent patterns, all pointing to the truth I didn't want to face. I was still wounded. Here are 5 ways I realized it. Maybe you'll see yourself in them too. 1. I was alive but not living. I did what I had to do. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. But I had stopped doing things that made me feel alive. No more music. No more late-night walks under the stars. No more belly laughs. Why? Because somewhere deep down, I didn't think I deserved joy anymore. Like if I let myself feel happy again, I was betraying the pain. I confused surviving with healing, but healing means returning to life, and I hadn't done that yet. 2. I was emotionally reactive for no reason. The smallest things set me off. A joke that wasn't funny, a missed message, even a wrong shade of blue on a wall. Sometimes I'd cry, other times I'd snap. Then sit in shame wondering, what was that? It wasn't the world, it was me. My emotions had nowhere to go, because I never gave myself permission to process them, so they exploded sideways or collapsed inward. 3. I kept replaying the past, over and over. I thought about old conversations, old betrayals, old wounds, like reruns that never stopped. I told myself I was just trying to understand. But really, I was stuck, hoping maybe if I thought about it enough, the ending would change, that I'd finally get the apology, the closure, the justice, but none of it came, because healing isn't about rewinding the story, it's about choosing to move forward. And I wasn't ready to do that yet. 4. I feared anything that felt too real, too deep, especially connection. When someone looked at me with kindness, I looked away. When someone asked how I was doing, I said I'm fine. When someone tried to get close, I pulled back, because deep down I believed love would leave, that if I let someone in, they'd hurt me. So I built walls, quiet ones, smiling ones, but still walls, and it was lonely behind them. But safe, or at least that's what I told myself. 5. My sleep was broken, and so was my peace. I was tired all day, but couldn't sleep at night, not because of screens or caffeine, but because my mind never stopped running. Thoughts, fears, regrets, they all came flooding in the moment I turned off the lights. Sleep is when the body recovers, but it's also when the heart reveals what it's been holding in, and mine had been holding in too much for too long. I used to think healing was a moment, like one day I'd wake up and just feel better, but it's not. It's a choice, a quiet one, made again and again, every single day. So I stopped looking for a breakthrough. And I started building small rituals, tiny things that felt almost too simple, but over time, they saved me. The first thing I did was build a sleep routine, because my nights were chaos, so I created a space to rest. No phone an hour before bed, warm chamomile tea, soft music. Sometimes I wrote down the things that haunted me just to get them out, not to fix them, just to let them breathe. Second, I stopped saying I'm fine when I was. I picked one person I trusted, and when they asked how I was, I told the truth, even if it was messy, even if I cried. Letting someone see my real emotions didn't make me weak, it made me real. And slowly, it made me feel safe again. Third, I moved my body, gently, not to change how I looked, but to remind myself I was still here. I took walks without music, just listening to my breath. Feeling the ground beneath me, it helped me come back into my body, because trauma had pulled me out of it. Fourth, I reconnected with small joys, not big life goals, just things that once made me smile, watering a plant, playing a song I loved as a kid, sitting in the sun for 5 minutes. Joy doesn't return all at once. It tiptoes back in, but only if you leave the door open. And finally, I forgave myself for not healing faster, for breaking down, for staying stuck longer than I wanted. That was the hardest part, but the most important. Healing doesn't mean being happy all the time. It means showing up, even when it hurts, especially then. If you saw yourself in any of this, I want you to know you're not broken, you're wounded, and there's a big difference. Wounds can heal, even the invisible ones, even the ones you've carried for years, even the ones you thought you had to hide. It doesn't matter how long it's been or how many times you've fallen back. What matters is that you're still here, still choosing to try, still opening the door, even just a little. Healing isn't loud, it's not dramatic, it's quiet, gentle, daily. And you don't have to do it alone. There are people who will walk beside you, who will see your pain, and not turn away. You are not too much. You are not too late. You are worthy of healing, and you are worth the effort it takes. If this spoke to you, leave a comment. Tell me what part resonated, and don't forget, you're not alone in this. I'm healing too. Let's keep walking together. If you haven't already, subscribe and come back tomorrow. This is High Day Psych, and we're here to heal.